Hello, I'm preparing this brief video of our 4 backyard hens to show just what real live backyard chickens are like in a typical residential lot within the city limits. Our lot is 1/3 of an acre. There's current talk of limiting hen ownership in the city to those who have only over 3/4 of an acre total. And so I just wanted to show how it is possible to have a few hens on 1/3 of an acre with no problem at all to the neighborhood. So I thought I'd give a brief tour of our property and of our hens. So there are the 4 of them right now. That house there, our neighbors moved in November. So despite the claims that people have made that it will lower property values to have hens, they moved into the house, even though the yellow sign was in our front yard, and they don't have any problem with the hens being here, because I've spoken to them about it, wanting to explain the sign there. This is our next door neighbor's house, the Pucketts, and they also have no problem with the hens being there. And in fact, they only wanted a chain link fence on this side and did not want a privacy fence because their grandson comes over sometimes and plays with our kids. They want to be able to see through. And the privacy fence begins on the other side of the property. You'll note that the original complaint came from the next door neighbor who lives on this side. So in order to make sure that the hens did not cross onto that strip of her property that is there next to her house, we put the privacy fence up, and that way they certainly wouldn't be able to get over the fence. They've not tried to jump over the 4-foot fence here either, but here's the privacy fence just to make sure that they don't become a nuisance at all. So it goes all the way around. So you can see this is the backyard. It is very spacious, and this is where the chickens live. This is a movable coop. They go in there when we are not in the yard and are locked in. They lay their eggs in there and their food and water's in there. And we move this coop across the yard at different times. Every few days we'll move it, and that way they have fresh grass and their droppings don't pile up. There's no perceptible odor. I'm approaching it now, and even when I get this close, which is I'm about 6 feet away now, there's no odor. In the summer there may be an odor in there. This is just one of their eggs that I got today, and it's just sitting there waiting for us to take it in. I just got it out a few minutes ago. So they have food, they have water, and this is where they live. And as you can see, their droppings do not pile up in a layer because we move their coop regularly. They're very tame animals. They are pets. We have allergies to cats and dogs, and so the chickens are an ideal pet. But they are gentle, and they would never hurt anybody. And as you can see, we keep them contained in this fence, which is plenty of space for them to graze around when we do let them out. If a dog can be kept on 1/4 of an acre or less, I don't see why a few chickens can't be kept on the same amount of space. They are still given plenty of space. They're still very healthy. Even if you confine them to the coop and just moved the coop a little bit, every few days you moved it, it would still give them access to fresh grass. Just as an example of things that are noisier in our neighborhood than the chickens, because really you can't hear them unless maybe you're in the Puckett's backyard over here, or possibly our neighbor here, if she's in her backyard, might hear them if they're clucking. But certainly you're not going to hear them from any other house in the neighborhood, nor would you hear them if you were, standing out in the street or right across the street from us. But there's dogs over there, and I'll be quiet so you can listen to them. Those dogs bark every afternoon pretty much, off and on, the whole time we're out here. We hear them every few minutes at least. And I don't even know where they live, but it's several streets over there. So just an example of something that's louder than our hens but hasn't gotten complaints and is allowed in our neighborhood. These dogs, they bark over there a lot, and everybody can hear them, whereas wherever those dogs are barking from, they certainly can't hear our hens from here. Dogs reach a decibel level of 90 when they bark. Hens, at their very loudest, which is usually when they're laying eggs, only reach a decibel level of 40. They keep pests away. They kill and eat insects, worms. We've even seen them kill and eat small snakes on occasion, so they keep our yard clearer of pests than it would otherwise be. So other things that are louder than our hens would be neighborhood children, people hammering and building, mowing the lawn. You can even hear the train whistle frequently from when trains go by. Barking dogs, even wild birds are heard more clearly by all the residents of this neighborhood than these chickens are. I just want to give you a view of the whole yard. I'm standing now in the corner where the privacy fence begins, and so as you can see, they have a lot of room here. So we would respectfully ask that you consider that no other town that has a hen ordinance that we could come across gives such restrictive land requirements. It limits almost all citizens of Rome by saying that you have to have over 3/4 of an acre, because of all the neighborhoods I'm familiar with within the city limits, they rarely have lots that are this size, any lots that are this size. And so certainly in this neighborhood, in Garden Lakes and Somerville Park, none of those lots, or none of those neighborhoods have hardly any lots that are that large. But they are not needed. A lot that large is not needed to raise just a few hens. Is it funny? This one is all black. She is a female. Some people see that the others are black and white and that this one's all black and bigger, and they assume that this is a rooster, but that's not so. She's just a different breed from the other three. And she's a very gentle breed. One of the gentlest breeds there is. It's still heavy, huh? You giving her a hug? Trying to pick her up. She's too heavy for you. You can hear the dogs again that are over there. Somewhere over there. They get their loudest from 4:30 to 5:30 every day, and it's just after 4:30. I can almost tell the time based on how loud they get. See, I'm in my yard next to the chickens, and they're not bothering me with any noise, yet these dogs are who knows where over there, and they're quite loud, and everybody in the neighborhood can hear them. Just for some background, this house beyond our fence is the house where the neighbor who reported us and originally complained lives, and as you can see, we have the privacy fence up here 6 feet tall to prevent our hens from going onto her property anymore. You may recall at one of the other meetings, her daughter was speaking for her, and she said that they would be agreeable to living on this same property next to these same hens if we met certain conditions, one of which being a fence. They are agreeable to compromising with us despite the size of our lot. We are keeping the chickens at least 30 feet away from the property line as well. As you can see, their coop is down there. It's to the left of this shot. And there's the fence. We feel that by compromising and saying that we will put up a fence, we've already limited our group of chickens to 4. We had 5, and now we have 4, and are quite willing to continue only having 4 chickens total. This is the view of our property from the street. I'm standing right on the edge of the road. You'll note that you cannot hear the chickens from this distance.